welcome to more Higurashi. Heck yeah. Woo! Okay. Alright. Let's continue. We're on chapter. Well, I guess we're on technically chapter 13 of this chapter now. God dang. This has to be the longest one. It feels like this is the longest chapter so far. It's good though. I'm glad it's long because it's good.
Yo.
Okay, that's too quiet. Right there.
皆さんまだ生きてる？
Okay, yeah. Good enough. No, okay, before I start, listen. I've got to say something. I was watching last VOD. I was skimming over it. No one told me that the voices of the characters was way too loud. No one said a thing. Like it was completely overpowering me. I don't know if it just didn't bother anyone, but I feel like it was bothersome to somebody. Like, man, just tell me if the volume is too loud. Like, you're not gonna offend me. Like I promised. I just I wouldn't even bring it up if the characters weren't like comically loud. But anyways, let's just continue. Kimiyoshi was hanging from the collar with his head turned up to the ceiling. There's no way he's alive. There's absolutely no shot. He didn't even move when I walked in. Maybe he's already dead. Yeah, maybe. Satoko was lying on a cross-shaped restraining table. She glared at me with red and swollen eyes, which must have been that way from crying. Oh, Mochiari. Hey, Fuki. How you doing today? Hope everything's well for you. I'd wanted to put her on that special restraining table to pound nails into her hands, but Satoko was too small for that. I walked up to Kimiyoshi and poked his body with my toe. But I'm alive. Hey, you know what? That's all that matters. And at least at least it's not bad. At least it's not bad. That's the most important thing. So overall positive, hell yeah. There was no response.
君吉のおじいちゃん、死んだ？人殺し。人殺し。
Maybe Satoko had witnessed Kimiyoshi's last moments. Hell yeah, brother. I took a thick knife from the wall and stabbed Kimiyoshi with goddamn Shion. There was no response. Yeah, because he's dead. You basically hanged the man for 3 consecutive days. You think he's kicking?
君吉のおじいちゃん、生きてるなら正直に生きてるって言ってくださいよ。死体のふりして逃げ出そうなんて通用しないから。
I walked over to the pulley that was suspending Kimiyoshi.
最終通告。生きてる？生きてるなら返事してね。
I paused just for a moment, then turned the pulley. Ugh. Kimiyoshi's body swayed strangely in the air. It looked much like a corpse like that.
どうしてこんなことをするんですの、シオンさん。
Because she's batshit crazy. Also for Satoshi, but mainly the batshit crazy part.
ん？ああ、なるほど。
The door to the huge cave was still open. I bet Satoko had talked to the one in the cell while I was gone. That's how she knows my name. Although that's actually not my name at all.
シオンじゃなくて、私が本当のミオン。あんたたちがミオンだと思ってた方がシオン。まあややこしいだろうから理解しなくて結構。よくも
女を、リカを。
To be fair, Satoko, Rika tried to kill her first. To be fair. I had allowed Satoko to watch me take care of Rika's body. Okay, that's just kind of cruel. Of course, I let her see Rika's neck too. Ugh, ugh.
フルでリカは自業自得。
As of right now, I can't debate you on that, Shion.
あいつは私を殺しに来たんだよ。
She's true there. She is true.
返り討ちにしたのさ。
Like she's kind of spitting. Like she's kind of spitting.
そんなことあるわけありませんわ。リカがそんなことするわけない。
信じないならそれでもいいよ。あんたにはどうでもいいことだし。
私をどうするつもりなんですの？
I feel like it's kind of obvious at this point, Satoko.
殺す。
Satoko's eyes went wide. She was expecting my answer, I'm sure, but she still looked shocked. I bet she didn't expect me to state it so openly. I heard the noise of something hitting iron bars echoing in the huge cave. Shion's voice echoed there as well. It's not gonna work, Mion. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you it's not gonna work. I answered her clearly.
今頃罪が分かったかい？あんたはそれをサトシ君の時にしなかった。だからサトシ君は虫けらのように殺されてしまったんだ。あんたはサトシ君を救える100億の瞬間を見捨てた、見殺した。そうさ、それがあんたの罪なのさ。
Uh-oh. Before even finishing my sentence, I stabbed Satoko's right arm. Dear Lord. Her blood started to flow out. This was nothing compared to what happened to Rika Faraday. I twisted the knife into Satoko's arm. She bit down hard, crying. Why couldn't you say that for Satoshi-kun? It's too late now. I was the one screaming like you back then. But no matter how loudly I screamed, it never reached them, spared him, or saved him. I want you to go through the same thing I did. This is hard to read through, Jesus. I stabbed Satoko's arm repeatedly. But the knife kept hitting her bone. It didn't feel like I was cutting any of her flesh.
Yoshi, シオン。じゃあこうしよう。サトコの助け方を教えてあげよう。あんたはこれから1000回ごめんなさいって言うんだよ。
I mean, that's pretty easy.
言い終わったらサトコを解放する。
Oh, well. Okay, well. Probably gonna get... Satoko's probably gonna die by then, but... Yeah, that's an easy enough goal to apologize 1,000 times. Hello, Mochi. I can't really stay. Girlfriend has to hang out. No problem. Thank you for stopping by, though. Hope you have a good day with your girly friend.
どう？私は嘘をつかないよ。あんたが1000数えたら絶対に約束を守る。あんたがけじめをつけたってことをちゃんと理解してね。さあ、どうするの？ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめ
6, 7, 8. I mean, she only has 992 to go. Shion started to apologize like a broken record. She's so stupid and honest. She's not even thinking of cheating. I bet Shion really will count to 1,000. Reminds me of Reina when Keiichi closed the door. True. I mean, that's just kind of crazy person syndrome going on. Wait, did I read that? I bet Shion really will count to 1,000. I stabbed Satoko in the wrist. Oh god. There, I felt something hard. I guess I either crushed her bone or scraped it. It must have been extremely painful for her. Satoko screamed. I mean, yeah, that's fair. Shion's voice got louder as if trying to overpower that scream.
泣くのはあんたの1000倍特許だね。泣けばニーニーが来てくれる？ニーニーがかけてきて私を跳ね飛ばしてあんたを助けてくれるのかな？
The knife was still on Satoko's wrist. I slid it toward her elbow. Oh my god! This is... Oh my god! This is so hard to read. Jesus Christ! Holy shit!
サトコ、私の声が聞こえる？聞いてる？聞けよこら！
I slapped her face several times. I don't know why slapping is so funny to me. I'm sorry. And made her look at me.
あんたは自分の罪が分かってる？あんたの存在がどれほどにサトシ君を追い詰めていたか知っている？そう。あんたはニーニーって泣けばよかった。泣きさえすればいつもサトシ君がかばってくれた。でもね、サトシ君の負担ってものを考えたことがある？サトシ君はね、あんたのヒーローでなければ不死身でもない。あんたと同じね。傷つけば血も流れ、痛めばうめく、全く同じ人間なの。あんたの代わりに矢面に立ってくれたサトシ君の痛みをあんたは理解していたの？
Just a daily reminder that this is a 10-year-old child that she's accusing.
してない。しようとさえしなかった。あんたはサトシ君に甘えてた。サトシ君に寄生していた。そうさ、サトシ君が傷ついて流すその血を舐めてお前は生きてきたのさ。そんな呪われた身でありながらこの後に及んでまだサトシ君の名を呼ぶのか。
You got it out of your system, Shion? You good now?
あんたはその罪を
Nope.
今から償うのさ。
No, she is not good.
私の手によってね。好きなだけ泣き叫べばいい。そしていくら泣いてもサトシ君が助けに来てくれないことを知るがいい。そう、お前が追い詰めた、お前がいなくした、お前がサトシ君を殺してしまったんだ。
After telling her all I'd been wanting to, I exhaled roughly.
どうしたよ。右腕はもう感覚がない？
Yeah, probably not.
じゃあ左腕にするか。
I stabbed her left arm repeatedly, and her blood flowed out. But Satoko's reactions weren't fun anymore. She didn't cry or scream like she did before. That put me in a bad mood, so I stabbed the back of her left hand and twisted the knife again. But Satoko still just moaned. She didn't scream anymore.
どうしたの？叫ぶと私を喜ばすと思って、せめて悲鳴を絞って抵抗ってわけ。そりゃいいや。
Satoko was unfazed by my mad laughter. She looked at me with gritted teeth and resignation.
ええ、私もそう思ってましたのよ。
は？
私がニーニーを追い詰めたからいなくなってしまった。ニーニーがいなくなったその日にもう気づいてましたのよ。私が甘えていた。ニーニーのすねをかじり続けてしまった。ニーニーも辛かったはずなのに、私はニーニーにすがることをやめられなかった。その点につきましては、あなたの言う通りですわ。
You're a child. It's not even in the double digits yet. How, like, you can't blame a child for that. I don't get this argument.
弁解の余地なんてありませんでした
Yes,
よ。
you do the excuses. You're a kid. Satoko didn't sound as if she was mocking me or trying to please me. She spoke so naturally.
ちょっと意外だね。あんたが自分の罪に自覚があったとはね。
ニーニーはきっと帰ってきてくれる。いつかきっと帰ってくるんですの。でもね、帰ってきたら私もう一人前になっているところを見せるんですのよ。私もうニーニーに甘えない。背中に隠れたりしない。しっかりした一人前になったことを教えてあげるんですの。
帰ってきたらいいね。帰ってきたら。
I stabbed Satoko's arm in a mad frenzy, but she still didn't even scream. She bit down tightly and swallowed her pain instead.
ニーニーはきっと帰ってきてくれますの。絶対に帰ってきてくれますの。それまで待ってるんですのよ。そしてニーニーに今まで甘えてきて本当にごめんなさいって謝るんですの。
How can something be so sad and disturbing at the same time?
それまで負けるものか。もう私は絶対にニーニーに甘えたりしないの。どんな苦難にもニーニーの助けを呼ばない。呼ばない。泣かない。叫ばない。泣いたらニーニーが来てしまう。だから私は一人で耐えてみせるんですのよ。
上等抜かすな、小娘が！
私をいじめて楽しいならいくらでもお楽しみあそばせ。でもね、それで私がニーニーに助けを求めたりするのを期待しているんでしたらお気の毒ですわね。 私は泣かないんだから、絶対、絶対、絶対に。疑うなら好きなだけ試してみろ。ニーニーは見ててくれる。私が本当に我慢強くなって一人前になったことを見ててくれる。私が泣き虫じゃなくなったことを見ていてくれる。それをニーニーが見届けてくれたとき、きっとニーニーは帰ってきてくれるんですのよ。さあ、いくらでも試してみろ。
I'm getting really mad at Shion. Because she's like continuously stuck to this argument of Satoko is a terrible person because she depended on her big brother. Even though she's like a toddler. And she's like forced Satoko to grow up to the point of like basically an adult when she's still like 10. It's sick, man. Like, nobody should have to go through this. Let me say that. Nobody should ever have to experience anything like this. But especially not a fucking kid, man. Like, come on.
私は泣かない。涙も見せない。北条聡子がどれほどの強さを持つか、試してみろ。
Shit, shit, shit. I'll show her. Take that, and that, and that!
ニーニー、見てますわよね。見ててくれますわよね。聡子は、こんなにも我慢強くなったんですのよ。もう何が起こってもへこたれませんの。こんなこと、この程度で。こんなくらいで、私は泣かない。助けを呼ばない。
Yeah, she's just dead at this point.
耐えられる。耐えてみせる。ニーニーが私に代わって傷ついてくれた痛みには、こんなの、はるかに及ばないんだから。
Shit, shit, shit. Why doesn't she feel the pain? Doesn't it hurt? There's no way it doesn't. I've been stabbing her so much and the knife went in so deep. Her blood is poured to the ground, and I've been turning her flesh inside out. How could she still talk that way? Why doesn't she cry and scream? After Satoko said what she wanted to say, she shut her mouth. She didn't say a word after that. No matter how much I stabbed her, twisted the knife, tore at her, and ripped out her flesh, she didn't even make a sound. Jesus. God. Holy fuck, man. What in the world is this? This isn't the Satoko I know. Satoko was never as strong as this. If Satoko was this strong, she wouldn't have been a burden to Satoshi-kun. Why wasn't she as strong as before? It's too late. Everything is too late. This idiot's maturity came in far too late. Her blood made my hands slippery, and I dropped the knife. I was covered in blood from head to toe. Satoko was still enduring the pain. She was enduring this cruelty so she could display her strength. I couldn't defeat Satoko. I couldn't crush her strength. Satoko had achieved her goal. She had become independent, so she didn't need Satoshi-kun anymore. She still believes Satoshi-kun will come back one day. She looks forward to a day when she can show her brother how strong she had become. But Satoshi-kun hasn't seen any of that. Instead, I, who never even thought that Satoshi-kun would come back, was the one who witnessed her strength. What was I thinking? I thought Satoshi-kun was dead. No, I assumed he was. Why did I? I never even thought of waiting for him. I didn't believe he would come back. I didn't wait. I tried to avenge him, but I guess what I really did was forget about him. Satoko is different. She never even thought he was dead. No, maybe she did a little. But even so, she waited. She waited for a day when she could show him how much she'd grown. She'd waited patiently. What about me? I didn't do anything. I wanted to forget about my sadness, so I tried to find my enemy. I became a demon, using revenge as an excuse so that I didn't have to think like a human. I lost. I couldn't endure the pain of waiting for Satoshi-kun, so I chose to become a demon. In other words, I got rid of my soul. The soul that loved Satoshi-kun. In other words, I got rid of Satoshi-kun himself. Satoko won. While she had been gritting her teeth before, her mouth had gone slack. Her eyelids were half shut, but I could see her eyes a little. They looked like she was dreaming about something happy. Satoshi-kun was there, in her eyes. Satoko endured until Satoshi-kun came for her. Satoko ran up to Satoshi-kun. She jumped onto him. Satoshi-kun hugged her, and they spun around. You can cry now. Satoshi-kun told Satoko that, and she cried very hard. Satoshi-kun rubbed her head so gently. We'll be together forever, he said, and continued to rub her head so gently. So gently. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Fuki. Drink up. This is hard to read. This is hard to read, man. This is a really good scene, don't get me wrong, chat, but it's just like I feel like I'm actually about to cry. Oh, man. Satoshi-kun. I was waiting for you, too. What meaningless words. He was already dead inside of me. I never believed in our reunion. How pitiful of me to say that. Just because I saw Satoko and Satoshi-kun together again. As Satoshi-kun hugged Satoko, his eyes met mine. Shion. Satoshi-kun said that. I asked you a favor. What favor? I tried to remember. What kind of favor did Satoshi-kun ask me? Satoshi-kun looked at me so sadly, because I couldn't remember. He was to look after Satoko, even after he was gone. That sad look tore my heart to shreds. The blood flowing out from me wasn't as pretty as Satoko's blood. My blood was a slimy liquid, like vomit with filthy chunks of food in it. That was what filled my body.
たたりだろうと この村の何者かの陰謀だろうと、僕は絶対に消えない。消されない。
消えないよ、サトシ君は。
消えないよ。サトコにあのぬいぐるみを買ってやるまではね。もうすぐお給料がもらえることになってる。その日までは絶対に消えない。
Huh? A memory of the past? But when? Of course. This is a memory of the day before last year's Watanagashi. Satoshi-kun called me on the phone then.
あ、おばさんが帰ってきたからもう切るよ。
あ、うん。
ミオン。
何？
His aunt was home, so I'm sure he wanted to hang up as quickly as possible. Satoshi-kun paused and spoke.
サトコのこと頼むからね。
Yep. And you broke that promise. My knees and elbows started to shake. My teeth chattered and my fingers were shivering. Satoshi-kun asked me to. What have I done? I couldn't wait for Satoshi-kun to come back, so I filled myself with evil thoughts and acted as I pleased. I didn't believe he'd ever return. I even forgot about Satoshi-kun's last request. How can I say I love him? I just wanted to forget about my feelings of loss, so I made myself all bloody. How can I welcome him back now? I didn't believe Satoshi-kun would come back. I didn't believe Satoshi-kun was alive. I didn't think he was alive, so I thought he was dead. I believed in his death. I killed him and myself. Nobody else did. I did that. But Satoko believed until the very end. She was rewarded in her final moments. Satoko wasn't here anymore. She had no more need for her bloody, painful shell. But I'm still here, trapped in my bloody, tainted flesh. I'm going to rot inside of it. Satoshi-kun was waiting for both Satoko and me. But to be reunited with Satoshi-kun, we had to keep our promises. Satoko's promise was to be strong. Satoko kept that promise until the bitter end. And Satoshi-kun embraced her. My promise was to take care of Satoko for Satoshi-kun. I never kept that promise from the beginning. Therefore, Satoshi-kun will never embrace me. Even if I were to rub Satoko's wounds and ask her if they hurt, that wouldn't mean anything. That was when I felt something behind me. It wasn't Satoshi-kun or that thing that scared me before. I didn't know who it was, but it was right there, criticizing me for my mistakes. Then, I finally realized it. That thing is me. I had always been there, standing behind myself and watching me break that promise. Satoshi-kun asked me to take care of Satoko, yet I didn't keep that promise. I had been watching that happen. I cried and gave up on myself. Wait, Satoshi-kun gave up on me, and I gave up on myself. What will happen to me now? I don't want to be in this darkness. I don't want to be all bloody. Please don't leave me. If I give up on myself, what will happen to my body? There will be nothing left. The only thing I'll have left in me is an evil demon. I get it. I've known it for a long time now. I am nothing but a demon. Man. A demon doesn't feel sad. A demon's heart can never be in pain. A demon doesn't cry. Shion was still apologizing. She believed that was the only way for her to save Satoko. Her voice was growing hoarse and weak.
シオン、もう数えなくていいよ。ご苦労さん。
I guess she realized what happened to Satoko. Shion cried in her cell.
鬼ってのも悪くないね。人が泣いたり叫んだりするのを見るのがこんなにも楽しいものだなんて知らなかったよ。私も人の世ってやつを十分に楽しませてもらったからね。そのうち自らの命を絶って鬼の国へ帰らせてもらうよ。でも安心しな。その前にちゃんとあんたは殺していく。
Chad, I do want to say I'm sorry if any of this dialogue or anything is triggering you, or if you feel uncomfortable. I just want to apologize for that beforehand. I did not know it was going to get this dark. Oh my god. I mean, I'm enjoying this in a morbid way, kind of. Like, the storytelling is really good, and the characterization is just... It's hard to read, man. It really is.
あんたを殺すために今があるんだもの。私はそのためにいる。人を嘆かせて泣き声をすするのが私の鬼の優越だもんね。そうだ。あんたはケイちゃんが好きだったね。
Sorry I have to leave so soon, but I have to leave not because of the game. Don't worry. Love you much. I'll see you later. Alright, Fuki, you have a good day. Hope everything goes well. And thank you for stopping by. We always appreciate you.
よし。あんたの前でケイちゃんを引き裂いてあげるよ。これは極めつけだね。その後にあんたを殺し、私も殺そう。そうさ。鬼ヶ淵村は鬼の村。かつて鬼ヶ淵より湧き出した鬼が村を襲った伝承のある村。私もまた伝承の鬼たちのように猛威を振るい、そしてお社様の裁きを待とう。それでこそひなみ沢村にふさわしい災禍と言えるだろうね。
What was that?
あ、ケイちゃんですか？
Uh-oh.
私です。
I think this might be the phone call where Shion does the Joker laugh.
シオンです。電話なかなか出なかったんで、お留守かと思って切ろうとしてたんですよ。
ごめん。ちょっとお風呂に入っててさ。
それでもご家族の方が電話を取りませんか？
Hi, Dusty. I can't really watch for too long, so while it's relevant, I want to mention there was a When They Cry series anniversary event a few days ago, and there was a Satoko torture table photo OP you could stick your face in for some unhinged reason. That... What the fuck? That was a real thing. I can't... Oh my god. But thank you for dropping by, even if you couldn't stay for too long, Dusty. We always appreciate seeing you here. And I love having your, like, insights and fun facts about Higurashi, too. Appreciate you a lot, buddy. My god, that is morbid. Oh my god.
ひょっとして、ケイちゃんの家、今ご両親はお留守なんですか？
いや別に留守ってわけじゃ。そんなことより聞いたか？リカちゃんとサトコの件。
いえ、結局あの後どうなったんですか？見つかったんですか？
ああ、見つからなかった。
ケイちゃん、どうか気を落とさないで。
リカちゃんとサトコはさらわれたんだよな。
はい、それは間違いないでしょうね。
リカちゃんとサトコは、いや、ごめん。村長さんはさらわれてどうなったと思う？
He died.
まだ生きてるんだろうか？
Nope. Keiichi sounded confused. He wanted to believe Satoko and Riko were still alive, which was why he was asking. Keiichi was just like Satoko. Unless the culprit was after money, the abductee would usually get killed right away. I'd never assumed they'd still be alive. But Keiichi was trying to hold on to a little hope. I could feel his strength. It was much greater than mine. I'm a demon, so I didn't come up with an excuse.
殺されちゃったんだと思います。
おいおい、そんなにあっさり。
人間をさらってその状態を維持するのってとても大変なことだと思います。人質にするんでもない限り、用が済んだら殺しちゃうのが一番合理的じゃないかと。
殺しちゃうって、そんなにあっさり。人の命を何だと思ってやがるんだ。
恐ろしいことだとは思いますが、多分そうではないかと。
村長が殺されたということは、リカちゃんやサトコも同じように殺されたかもしれないということなのか？
Yeah, most likely, Keiichi. What am I saying? Yeah, they're dead as hell.
いや、そんなはずは。どっかのじじいとはわけが違うぞ。リカちゃんだぞ。サトコだぞ。そんなにあっさりと殺すはずは。
Keiichi was still refusing to believe what I said. He fought so hard because he didn't want to kill his friends within him.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Fucking scared me. Hey, soldier. I wasn't like that. I killed Satoshi-kun within me so easily. I blamed Shion for not protecting Satoshi-kun, but I killed him so easily.
リカちゃんとサトコちゃんも同じだと思った方がいいでしょうね。
Damn. Keiichi roared and cried. It was like their deaths were physically agonizing him.
どうしてだよ。どうして人をさらったり したりするんだよ。
Bro sounds like a dog fighting another dog, for real.
たたりだかなんだか知らないが、人の命ってのはそんなに安いのかよ。あっさり消したり殺したり。
ええ、全くです。悪魔ですよね。
I laughed at myself. I was sure Keiichi didn't notice.
なあシオ、教えてくれ。どうしてこのひなみ沢では綿流しの夜に人が死ななければならないことになってしまったんだ。
それは私が知りたいです。
もうダム計画との戦いは終わったんだぞ。なのにどうしてまだたたり足りないんだ。どうしてだよ。どうして。理由があるなら言ってみろよ。
ケイちゃんの気持ち、私もよくわかります。ダム闘争はとっくの昔に終わったんです。なのに毎年、お社様のたたりという名の殺人と失踪が繰り返されている。なぜ？どうしてなんですか？全然関係ない人もいた。たたられるのに不相応な人だっていたのに、どうして？どうして？
それを俺が聞いてるんだ。
それを私だって知りたいんですよ。
Of course. The curse of Oyashiro-sama never existed. It was just a bizarre environment that allowed people to kill in the name of Oyashiro-sama. The environment, and nothing more. Nothing would have happened unless there were demons who danced within it.
いいですか？お社様のたたりなんて非現実的なものは初めから存在しません。ケイちゃんの言う通り、村の何者かがお社様のたたりというもっともらしい大義名分を利用して綿流しのたびに殺しと失踪を繰り返しているんです。奴らは狡猾でした。たたりを都合よく利用して村の旧敵を毎年2人ずつ消し去るシステムを構築していったんです。そしてこのシステムで今年は高野さんたちが殺された。
And apparently it was... I'm thinking they haven't fully confirmed it. So... But I'm pretty sure that Rika at least killed Tomitake. Because she was the one that, like, jumped Shion with the needle. And we know at this point that syringe is what killed Tomitake as well. So I'm pretty sure Rika might be this, like, mystery assassin. Or it could just be multiple people. It's hard to say, though.
じゃあ二人で十分じゃねえかよ。どうして村長やリカちゃんやサトコまで殺されなくちゃならないんだよ。それに俺は過去のことは今さらどうでもいいんだ。リカちゃんとサトコがなぜ殺されなくちゃならなかったのか、その一点にしか興味はないんだ。どうしてなんだ。サトコには打ち明けですらないんだぞ。どうしてサトコまで、どうしてなんだ。
Satoshi-kun was speaking through Keiichi's mouth. How could I respond? I didn't know what to say. I could only feel myself being stabbed by the sharpness of those words.
ケイちゃん、もういじめないでください。私だって何が何だかわからないんです。西宮殿に忍び込んだあの晩から全てが変わってしまった。あの晩、高野さんたちが死んだと聞き、耳を疑いました。 そしてすぐに気づいたんです。今度は自分が狙われる立場になったんだって。忍び込んだのは私たち4人。私とケイちゃんだけが都合よく許してもらえるわけがない。そう思った時、それがどれだけ心細くて恐ろしいことだったか、ケイちゃんにはわかりますよね。だから私、君吉のおじいちゃんに打ち明けたんです。君吉のおじいちゃん、怒らなかった。そしてにっこり笑って、しおんちゃんがちゃんと反省してるなら鬼隠しになんかなるものかって。本当に笑いながら任せなさいって。
I remembered Uncle Kimiyoshi speaking ill of Satoshi-kun. I killed him, but everyone in Hinamizawa did that. I wasn't the only one at fault.
いつ村長に打ち明けたんだよ。ごめんな、シオン。悲しい気持ちのところに追い打ちをかけるようで。シオンは打ち明けたんだよな。君吉のおじいちゃん、つまり村長に。
はい。
いつ打ち明けたんだよ。
Keiichi's tone was becoming sharper. That edge was cruel, but it was a sharp conviction. It wasn't a dull edge that caused excessive pain. It had a clean, pleasant sharpness to it.
村長さんは重い痔を患ってて、病院にかかっていたという話は知ってるか？
ケイちゃん、それが何か。
答えてくれ。知らないなら知らないと答えればいい。
痔だったのは知ってます。座る時とか辛そうでしたから。
病院に通ってたんだ。どこの病院かは知ってるよな？
ごめんなさい。それはちょっと知りませんけど。でもケイちゃん、それが一体何の？
単刀直入に聞きたいんだ。シオンはいつ村長に打ち明けたんだ？どこで？いつ？大雑把でいいから教えてほしいんだ。
ケイちゃん、なんでそんなことを。
Very good, Keiichi, my bearer. You know who I am, don't you?
ありえないんだよ。村長が失踪した日、朝から消えるまで、シオンには接触できる機会はありえないんだ。
そんな。
村長は朝一で誰にも内緒の大学病院へ一人で診察に出かけた。シオンは今この病院を知らないと言った。だから帰ってくるまで村長と接触することはできないはずだ。そうだろう？帰りの電車が事故で遅れたので自宅に帰ってきたのは会合の始まる直前だった。つまり会合が始まるまでの時間にも打ち明ける時間的余裕はないんだ。シオンも一緒に会合に出たのか？ そして会合の席上で打ち明けたのか。ここで打ち明けなきゃもう時間がないもんな。会合が終わった後、村長は帰宅途中で失踪するんだから。
実は会合にで。
あの日シオンが行くと言ったバイトすら君は欠勤してるんだ。もっと端的に言おう。君は俺と一緒に行った図書館以降誰にも目撃されていない。
ケイちゃん、
園崎シオンは綿流しの翌日に失踪したんだ。
Yep. Bingo, Kei-chan. I'm impressed.
大石さんは君がすでに失踪していると言っているんだ。でもシオンはこうして毎晩俺に電話をかけてきてくれただろう。頼むシオン、俺が言ったことが間違ってるならそうだと言ってくれ。シオン、頼むから。
Corner me even further. Corner me so the demon inside can't come up with excuses, so that it can't escape.
シオン、お前は村長に会ってなんかないんだ。もし会ったとしたなら。
The only time I could have possibly seen him on that day was...
村長が会合を終えた後、すなわち失踪する直前、もしくは失踪してからしかありえないんだ。
There it goes. Click. I screeched and screeched with laughter, then slammed down the phone. Very good, Kei-chan. That's right. It's me. I'm the one. Hurry and corner me. Hurry. Let me be free. Was he going to tell the police, or was he going to come here by himself? I wondered which it would be. If the police came, I'd struggle as much as I was able to. I'd see how good Oishi would be at catching a demon. If Kei-chan came here alone, that wouldn't be smart of him. He couldn't complain about being eaten by a demon then. I'm gonna kill him. I'm going to kill him gruesomely while Shion watches. Therefore, Kei-chan, you shouldn't hold back. I only ever thought you were just a funny guy. I never thought I could expect so much from you. To be fair, that's a fair thought to have, Shion. You never really can expect much from Keiichi, except for him to be sus and unfunny. That's about as much as you can expect from Keiichi. It took them a long time to come for me. I had to wait until the following morning. I opened the gate without checking who was ringing the doorbell. I didn't even care who it was. If it was the police, that'd be fine with me. If it was Kei-chan, could he defeat me? Keiichi and Reina were there.
こんな時間に珍しいね。二人とも学校は？学校は休んだよ。ふーん。ケイちゃんはともかく、レナも？二人とも不良なんだからな。
I laughed.
立ち話もなんでしょ？
入りなよ。
I didn't think Reina would come. I thought it would be either the police or Kei-chan alone. I'll try tricking Kei-chan into coming with me to the underground storehouse. Reina, why don't you try to figure out what I'm attempting to do and stop me? You too, Kei-chan. If you figured out I was Shion, why don't you try to figure out the rest? I will act like a demon. I will struggle until the very last moment. So don't hold back. Please don't hesitate to kill a filthy demon like me.
ミオ、まず謝ることがある。
ケイちゃんが？何を？
綿流しの晩、俺は神社の祭具殿に入ったんだ。
I didn't expect this to start with an apology. Okay, so he admitted his sin of entering the ritual storehouse. I guess that was manly of him. I don't even care if the storehouse is forbidden anymore. Whatever. That rule came from those who believed it was even a sacred place at all.
ミオ、おとといリカちゃんとサトコを呼んだろ。
覚えはないけど、そう思うに足る根拠があるなら聞かせてもらえる？
夕方過ぎのお夕食前の時間、リカちゃんが来たはずだよ。お醤油の大瓶を持ってお裾分けしてもらいに。
Reina spoke with confidence. She wasn't even trying to gauge my reaction. She was simply telling me the truth. That cleverness was very pleasant to see.
どうしてそう思う？
そんなに難しい話じゃない。みーちゃんも見たでしょ？リカちゃんの部屋。冷ややっこがあるのにお醤油がなかった。そして流しの下にあるはずの醤油の大瓶も瓶ごとなかった。
何それ？それが私のとこへ来る理由になるわけ
？Reina sure is sharp. I tried to beat around the bush, but she was confident in her conclusions. She was cornering me. She was doing such a great job, too. It really put me at ease. Okay, demon. Reina knows what she's talking about. What kind of excuse are you gonna come up with now?
長くなるから説明は省くけど、冷蔵庫の中身がみーちゃんの呼び出した話の内容まで如実に物語っちゃってるの。
There it is. The game is over. Reina, I was right about you. I don't like you. You really are just too sharp. Shion is so obtuse that she'd never even recognize this side of you.
これはとんだ名探偵が身近にいたもんだよ。まさか冷蔵庫の中身だけで電話の内容まで見破るとは。参ったな。参った参った。
I laughed like crazy. I laughed because I was having so much fun. I sensed the poison inside of my stomach dissipating. I felt free and refreshed. So is Tito.
ミオ、警察はもうとっくにお前を疑ってるんだ。この家も大石さんの部下が踏み込もうと今も様子を伺ってる。
Kei-chan was threatening me. He was telling me I couldn't run or resist, so I should just surrender and accept my fate. You weren't doing that intensely enough, Kei-chan. Shouldn't you grab my collar and knock me to the ground? Today is the day I'm prepared to die. After that, they went easy. Because they just wanted to know the reason why Mion committed such crimes. You all are being too lenient about this. I'm a demon. I'm a murderer. Are you saying that if you can understand the reasoning, murder is okay? A demon is a demon. A murderer is a murderer. Whether their motive is to have fun, to live, or to take revenge, it makes no difference. Why do you even want to know that? Why don't you just tackle me and take me to the police? Look there. The demon is trying to deceive you.
初めてご挨拶申し上げます。園崎本家当主跡継ぎミオンでございます。本日はようこそ園崎本家においでくださいました。当主お寮に代わりまして皆様にご挨拶申し上げます。皆様におかれましてはいろいろお尋ねになりたいことがおありの様子。私にお話しできることでしたら包み隠さずお話ししたいと存じます。
I then told them about the strange events that led to Onigafuchi village becoming Hinamizawa, which Takano-san had told me about before. About half of it was the truth, but the other half was completely made up. I just made it sound like it was only natural that their best friend committed such a gruesome crime. Keiichi and Reina were both overwhelmed by the history of Onigafuchi village, which was swallowed by this gloomy fate. Oh well. I guess I made it sound interesting enough. I'm sure they enjoyed hearing me tell you the story. But you know, I'm the one who committed the incidents that happened in the present time. What was the point in listening to those old folk tales? Are you thinking it will make your best friend's crime easier to swallow? You're just trying to satisfy yourselves. I'm a demon. I'm a murderer. I have sinned. These old folk tales have nothing to do with the crimes I've committed. The way those two listened to me so intensely almost made it fun. I told them that people used to make canned human meat and conducted gruesome research during the war. Those were things Takano-san told me. Hey, you two. Haven't you realized yet? Haven't you realized that what I'm talking about has nothing to do with what we're dealing with right now? You both look so serious. You two are such fools.
ひなみざわ村を再び鬼ヶ淵村のように崇められるに足る神聖な存在に。それが我ら鬼ヶ淵村の末裔の悲願であり、園崎本家の鬼を継ぐ者の宿命なのです。
鬼を継ぐ者？
我が園崎本家は代々当主の名に鬼の一字を加える習慣があるのです。私の名前を手のひらにでも書いていただければ一目瞭然かと。
Keiichi tried to write Mion on his palm.
あ、本当だ。鬼という文字が含まれてる。
名前だけではありませんよ。この体にも鬼が刻まれているのです。
I stood up and made to show my bare back. Of course, I don't actually have a tattoo there.
いいよ、みーちゃん。見せる必要なんて全然ない。
ありがとう。
I laughed a little. They must really believe that I'm their best friend, Mion. My goodness. The demon has won already. They were doing so well at the beginning, too. I eventually sat back down after I finished telling my made-up tear-jerker stories. It's your loss if you all shed any tears now. I looked at Keiichi. He wasn't crying, but he was overcome by emotion. I looked at Reina. Surprisingly, she still maintained an aggressive look, showing me her will to fight.
でも、みーちゃんは、リカちゃんとサトコちゃんを、殺したんだよね。
You're good, Reina. You know what I just told you isn't an excuse for murder. You usually act like such a goofball, but that's not how you really are. You sure are something. You're far sharper than Shion.
他の人のことは殺してもいいとも言わないよ。でも、とにかくみーちゃんは、リカちゃんとサトコちゃんを殺した。
弁解はしないよ。私には鬼が宿ってる。名前にも体にも心にも。でも手を下したのは鬼じゃない。園崎ミオン。私本人。ミオンが望んだからリカちゃんとサトコが死んだ。それは変わらない。レナの言う通りだよ。
Come on, Reina. Try to figure out who I really am. You still believe Shion, my victim, is the real culprit. Poor Shion. I'm making Reina believe that you're responsible. That was it for Reina, though. She couldn't figure out I was Mion.
自首しよう。
Reina spoke to Mion.
私たちも一緒に行くよ。親友を一人きりになんか絶対にしない。
泣くことレナには勝てないわ。
Too bad, Reina. I've won.
自分で自分の罪、どのくらいになるかよくわかってる。たとえ自首が認められても、多分もうここに帰ってくることもないと思う。だから、最後にわがままを聞いてほしいな。
何かな。
30分でいいから、ケイちゃんと二人きりにしてほしい。
Keiichi looks startled to suddenly hear his name. You're so insensitive, Keiichi. That's what made my sister cry.
ケイチくん、どうかな。ケイチくんが嫌なら無理にとは言えない。
そうだね。嫌ならそれでもいいよ。私は鬼だもの。ケイちゃんはよそから引っ越してきた正真正銘の人間。相入れることなんてお社様が実在して仲介してくれない限り絶対にない。
Keiichi hesitated a little. Come on, Kei-chan. Condemn me. Condemn me and tell me you'd never go.
ああ。いいぜ。
ありがとう。
Fool!
私からもありがとうを言うよ。ケイチくん。
Reina stood up. As promised, she made to leave.
あ、いいよ、レナ。ここで待っててくれれば。ケイちゃんとは庭をぐるりと回りたいだけだから。退屈だったら私の部屋へ行けばいい。漫画とか好きに読んでていいよ。あ、なんだったらお気に入りの単行本丸ごと持ってってもいい。
嫌だよ。みーちゃんの本はみーちゃんのものだもの。勝手にレナの家に持って帰れない。
あんたはこんな時に限っていい子なんだから。
I took Reina's head and rubbed it like Satoshi-kun used to do for me.
じゃあ行こう。ケイちゃん。
The game was over. Too bad, Reina. At least this was more fun than if Keiichi came alone. If he did, he could have asked me to run away with him after hearing my stories. Reina's eyes were like those of a judge. In those eyes, I sensed both affection and observance. I said 30 minutes, so she would probably only wait for 30 minutes. If I took even a second longer, she'd call Oishi. I'm a little disappointed. Reina still thinks I'm Mion. She didn't manage to see through me. I thought somebody like her would see the demon in me. I guess I was wrong. Too bad. Keiichi followed me after putting his shoes on.
腕組んでもいいかな。
Such a humble request.
別に構わないぞ。
I took Keiichi's arm. It was as warm as Satoshi-kun's. I felt a little bewildered.
私に腕を組まれたらなんだか緊張しちゃわない？例えば急に関節技を決められちゃうんじゃないかななんて思ったりとか。
姉妹揃って同じことを言うんだな。思わないよ。全然。
He was remembering the time when I'd held his arm in town.
シオンもケイちゃんのことが好きだったみたい。
そうなんだ。
I told him how my sister felt. Shion was with Satoshi-kun for a long time, but what they had was friendship. They never had anything more than that. That was why she fell in love with Keiichi. If I were in her position, I would have also fallen in love with him. If Shion was able to fall in love with him, then I could fall in love with him too. Keiichi smiled gently. I almost saw Satoshi-kun in that smile. The Keiichi I knew was worthless and superficial. I never realized he could smile like Satoshi-kun.
ミオンとシオンは仲は良かったんだろ？
さあどうかな。ケイちゃんは自分の右手と左手は仲がいいと思う？
え？右手と左手？それは仲がいいとか悪いとか、そういう言い方で例えるものじゃないな。
そういう関係だから。仲がいいとか悪いとか、そういう尺度では測れない関係。
We'd been together since we were born. We'd been living in this world as a pair. But I was Mion, and she was Shion. Mion was treated specially, and I insisted on being her. Of course, that was unpleasant for Shion. Deciding to be fair, we switched places all the time. We were probably different from other identical twins. We didn't only like the same things or do things the same way. We even managed to share our knowledge and experiences. When we talked about our experiences, we could share them. As Mion and Shion, we shared everything. That was why each of us was both Mion and Shion at the same time. No, maybe Shion was the only one who thought that way. I was a little different than that. I was simply letting Shion be Mion once in a while. I was Mion, the successor of the Sonozaki family. I was supposed to be treated specially. I always thought that was my privilege. Just like everyone tried to distinguish between Mion and Shion, I also tried to distinguish between us.
例えば、利き腕というものがあるように、右手と左手には間違いなく優劣の違いがある。もしも鍋つかみが片方しかなかったら、迷うことなく利き腕にするでしょ？そういう差はあったんじゃないかと思う。だからといって、左手がなくなったっていいなんて思う人は誰もいないはず。そんな、よくわからない関係だね。
それは近くにいすぎるから見えなくなっているだけで、きっととても仲のいいことなんだと思う。俺は一人っ子だから、祭りの前日、ミオンとシオンが二人してじゃれ合っているのをすごく羨ましいと思った。
ないものねだりじゃないの？双子なんて昔は人をからかったりしてそこそこに面白かったけど、こうして互いがはっきりと異なる個性を持った今ではかえって邪魔なだけ。
As an older sister, I felt I was mean for thinking that way. So as punishment, I became Shion. Who am I? Never had a solid identity in the first place. I was Mion. Then I was Shion. I should have just accepted that. But something has changed. I don't even know if I'm Mion or Shion anymore. Had I really been stupid enough to hope that Reina would figure that out for me?
シオンはまだ生きてる。
本当か？
Keiichi looked into my eyes. I nodded quietly.
うん。誰よりもむごたらしい死に方をさせてやろうとずっと考えて閉じ込めておいたけど、今日までその方法はとうとう思いつかなかった。
This was a lie. I've already come up with ideas, and I've already begun to execute them. I dumped the hag into the well in front of Shion. I dumped Kimiyoshi and Rika in there. I even killed Satoko too. And right now, I'm plotting to kill Keiichi, who Shion fell in love with. I am a demon. Any such gruesome act is simply pleasure to me. That's when I felt a warm hand rubbing my head. It wasn't Satoshi's hand, but Keiichi's. Keiichi and Satoshi-kun are totally different. Why did Shion fall in love with him? His rough hand didn't make me happy. That he understood my feelings was just my imagination. I wasn't happy and it didn't feel good. It didn't.
来て。私の罪のすべてを見てほしいから。でもそれはケイちゃんにとってこの上なく辛い光景かもしれない。
I'm going to commit my final crime. I'm going to let you see it. I'm going to let Shion see it. When I do, are you still going to think that I'm your best friend? Poor Shion. Kei-chan is going to die thinking it's you who's killing him.
引き返すなら今だよ。ケイちゃんの中の園崎美音がどんな人かは知らないけれど、中に入れば、その美音はきっと。
変わらない。何度だって言う。園崎美音は、俺の最高の親友だ。
You are such a fool. You don't sound cool at all. I don't understand human feelings because I'm now a demon. But I think I can understand why she loves you. I opened the iron door to the underground storehouse and beckoned Keiichi inside. Come on, Keiichi. This is obviously a trap, don't you see? This basement is transparently suspicious. Don't you think you should run to the police? But Keiichi was reckless. He swallowed, then stepped inside. You really are a fool. We went down the stairs to the basement, and I led him into the torture room. Everyone is shocked their first time visiting this room. I used to be that way. Of course, Keiichi looked surprised, too. But he was trying not to show it. Obviously, he wanted to express his shock at seeing this horrifying room. But he also knew that if he voiced that shock, that he would be rejecting his best friend. He was trying to confess her sins to him. So he did everything he could to stifle his surprise.
大昔の当主の書き物によるとね、血のしぶきってのは、犠牲者に負担をかけない割にはインパクトがあるんだってさ。綿流しは見せしめのショーだったから、私のご先祖様たちは様々なショーを考案してたんだよ。ほら、そこが鑑賞席なんだよ。綿流しは見せしめのショーだから、客がいなきゃ意味がない。
Keiichi smiled quietly as he listened to me. No matter what cruelty came out of my mouth, he would embrace me. Was this really the superficial Keiichi Maibara I knew?
みんなここで、私が殺した。見てくれている観客はいなかったけど、私は綿流しを上手にやってみせた。いや、観客は一人だけいたかな。
え？観客？
私という鬼が、ミオンの執り行う綿流しをずっと見てたから。
I started to laugh. How many hints do you need, Keiichi? When are you gonna figure out I'm not really your best friend? Come on, hurry up. You're running out of time. The game is almost over. This was a game. This was a game of murder. I had killed people, using my revenge for Satoshi-kun as an excuse. The demon was trying to capture Keiichi and kill him before Mion's eyes. But Keiichi had a chance. If he figured out I wasn't his best friend, then he'd win. If not, he was out. When did I come up with that rule? I guess it was sometime today. Or did I come up with it just a minute ago? Since the two of them aren't too bright, I decided to be easy on them, I guess. You are Mion's best friends, right? Don't you believe in her? Have you already made Mion into a murderer within yourselves? Why don't you try to protect the Mion within you? Why don't you try to believe your friend can't be a murderer? If you could believe until the very end like Satoko did, you would have realized I wasn't Mion, your best friend, but just someone who looks like her. But if you can't, if you still believe that I'm Mion, then you're just like me. I killed the Satoshi-kun within me so easily, and you will do the same. You don't deserve to live.
向こうが牢屋。
シオンはそこにいるのか？
You're not gonna make it. Once we reach Shion's cell, your time is up. The demon will win.
シオン！シオンか！
ケイちゃん。ケイちゃんなの？
Keiichi ran to the cell.
大丈夫か、シオン！怪我はしていないのか？
Shion screamed. I was standing right behind Keiichi. It was time. My preparations to kill the boy she loved were complete. For her, this was going to be the worst possible torture.
落ち着け、シオン。もう全部終わったんだ。全部。
Keiichi tried to quell Shion's distress by talking to her in a calm voice. It was such a funny sight. Keiichi was the only one who had no idea what was going on.
シオン。ご機嫌はいかがだった？私が憎いなら早く私を殺してよ！憎いのは私なんでしょう！早く殺して！殺して！
落ち着けって、シオン。もう終わったんだよ。大丈夫なんだ。だから落ち着け。
安心しなよ。あんたは殺さない。まだまだ殺さないんだから。
It's game over. I gave you enough chances. You cornered me quite well once. But that was it. You couldn't figure out that I'm not your best friend, Mion. You couldn't believe that Mion isn't a murderer.
死にたければこの男を殺した後にゆっくりとひき肉にしてやるよ。古式にのっとり獅子の先端から少しずつガリゴリと削ってミンチにしてやる。あの肉引き器はあんたのために取っておいてあるんだからね。それともそれでケイちゃんをミンチにしてみせた方があんたには面白いかな。
おい、いい加減にしろ。今さら怖がらせてどうするんだよ。ダメ！
ケイちゃん逃げて！
Here you are, demon. Go ahead and take my soul. I'd been living my life to avenge Satoshi-kun. But that wasn't what he wanted from me. That was just for my own satisfaction. I couldn't even face Satoshi-kun. So I'll bring this to an end in the way I want. The world became a total mess. Satoshi-kun hates me, and I hate myself too. I'm going to complete my revenge. I don't want anyone to sympathize with me. I won't pretend to be some tragic heroine either. I'm going to become a murderer that nobody could sympathize with. So please, grant a suitable final moment to me. A bluish-white flashed the huge cave. Keiichi fell down like a doll. Shion reached out to him from the other side of the bars. She screamed at me not to kill Keiichi. Go ahead, cry and blame me. Don't even think of offering your forgiveness. I am the most rotten existence in this world. So please, grant me the worst possible ending. Shion begged me desperately to let Keiichi go. I simply abused her, slandered her, and disgraced her. The more Shion suffered, the deeper I'd fall into hell. It wasn't enough. It wasn't even close to deep enough. It wasn't deep enough to compensate for my sins. I dragged Keiichi to the table that I'd tried to put Toko on, and restrained him there. Keiichi began to move sluggishly. The stun gun must have not worked too well on him.
聞こえるかいシオン。これから始めるよ。ケイちゃんの若い悲鳴をたっぷりと楽しみな。
Oh, choice. Well, let's save. At that time, I became aware of Keiichi's gaze, and then I turned around to face Keiichi. Let's go with the gaze.
いい加減にしろ。
Keiichi's growl resounded from the pits of his stomach. What a delightful sound. It was like he wanted to rip me apart.
ようやくお目覚め。私、さっき嘘をついたね。シオンを一番むごたらしく殺してやろうと思って閉じ込めておいたけど、まだ思いつかないって言ったやつ。あれが嘘。
I smiled menacingly as I laid out the huge nails and hammer specially made for the nail table.
あの子に自分のせいで死ぬ大勢の人の悲鳴をたっぷりと聞かせて、体の芯まで染み通らせてから殺すの。なかなかセンスいいでしょ。
お前は誰だ。
Oh.
は？ミオンでしょ？園崎ミオン。恐怖で頭が変になっちゃった？
違うな。お前が園崎ミオンであるはずがない。
Oh shit. My hand stopped dead in its tracks. Kei-chan? Shit. I decided it would be too late once we reached Shion's cell. So the name-guessing game is already over. Oh well, whatever. Bring it on. I'll listen to you. This is your last chance.
へえ。じゃあ、私がミオンじゃなかったら、私は誰なわけ？
Come on, Kei-chan. Guess who I am. Try and save me on the girl who fell in love with you. And then I heard it. I most definitely heard it. Keiichi's mouth trembled as he spoke the words, yet his eyes shone with a strong conviction. And he spoke the truth.
シオン、だな。
Did he say this before? I don't... Is this where it's different from chapter 2? Because I don't think he ever said that in chapter 2. Wow. You're right. You actually won. You're amazing, Kei-chan. A strange feeling fills my chest as I shiver. Oh, thank you, soldier. Let me go ahead and hydrate real quick. You did just redeem that, right? I didn't miss that from earlier. Agua. I had convinced myself there was no way he could guess. Yeah, he just... Okay. But he did, and I couldn't help feeling a bit surprised. This Keiichi had yet again pierced through my disguise.
お前はミオンじゃない。さっきまで一緒だったミオンを返せ。
Who are you?
え？
You aren't Mion, right? Oh, I get... Okay, so I am talking as Keiichi.
え？だから私、ミオン。
No, that's not it. That wasn't what I meant. You aren't Mion.
どうして私がお姉じゃないって思うんですか？
I don't know. Just a feeling. In my mind, memories of the time Keiichi recognized me at the toy store had been revived. Yes. Even back then, Keiichi could tell that I wasn't my sister Shion. I had feigned composure and offered a comeback with a straight face. On the inside, I was shook. We were both capable of becoming Mion or Shion. But because I was the real Mion, and was only Shion legally on paper, reversing the roles was even more easier for me. Our tones of speech, quirks, and even our auras, we had both mastered each other's habits so perfectly. Even our own parents were unable to tell us apart. In fact, wasn't that exceptionally sharp Reina not able to figure out I wasn't her best friend, Mion, after all? Despite being so close? So why? Has this Keiichi actually seen through my disguise twice?
どうして私がお姉じゃないって思うんですか？
My ears perked up, eager to hear the answer. Keiichi's reply was a soft murmur, like an insect's whisper, as he gasped for breath and pain. His voice was so quiet it was nearly inaudible, but I could almost recognize the words on his lips. Yes, just a feeling, he says.
へえ。
Yet again, it was just a feeling. Didn't he say the exact same thing to me that time at the toy store? How nice, how nice! What a splendid answer. You'd think why my sister of all people fell in love with him. rather, it was exactly because of this. Along with my raving madness, the blood that was simmering in my veins until just now rapidly began to chill and coagulate. If I were to describe it, it felt like stagnant, muddy water flowing through a gutter. Even now, it was all so hilarious I could fall over laughing, but I didn't smile. On the contrary, my face was vacant and austere, like a no mask of frigid ice. And then, the darkness seeped into the innermost depths of my mind. I was already parting with my self-restraint as a human being. I reach out and touch Keiichi's hair, matted with sweat and caked with blood. Keiichi whips his head away at once in disgust, as if he were staving off a housefly, and glares at me defiantly.
触るなこの鬼め返せミオンを返せよ俺の最高の友人だったミオンを返せ
Having lost liberty over his whole body, he continued to howl and cry as if he were spewing blood. I was supposed to have sold my soul to the devil and become a demon, but faced with such a bitter rejection, I felt the crumbled remnants of my emotions stir within me. Munch, crunch, munch, crunch, munch, crunch. My throat begins to itch. The crooks of my elbows, my wrist, and every other joint in my body begins to tingle and prickle, and I feel irrationally restless. The more the restlessness and irritation piled up, the more the squalling, whimpering person behind me felt bothersome, revolting, so awful I could slaughter him right away. To be frank, until just now, I had no intention of killing Keiichi. I was truly ready to spare at least his life, if he guessed the right answer. That was the rule I had decided upon. Okay, I'll admit it. Just like Shion, I had also fallen in love with Keiichi. He was incredibly silly and good-natured, unbelievably warm-hearted and gentle. Talking to him made me feel contented. Besides, I even sympathized with him. Unlike the lot I'd deal with so far, Keiichi was just a victim, caught up in my selfish revenge drama. Now that my revenge against the Sonozaki family was almost complete, I didn't mind saving him. It may sound too convenient, but perhaps the human side of me was fond of Keiichi wanted to save him, in order to seek his forgiveness for my actions. But I've changed my mind. Having witnessed Keiichi guess the right answer before my very eyes, my heart was suffused with a stinging, gaping, overpowering darkness, as if it were freezing over. Why? Why was Shion alone able to meet such a wonderful person? Satoshi-kun could only make a vague distinction between me and Shion. Satoshi-kun abandoned me and ran away. However, this Keiichi trusts Shion. He is defending Shion, whom he values as his best friend, by seeing through my lies. And as a result, he gave up on me. Detestable, maddening, despicable, enviable. So much so that I want to kill them. That's right. The moment he defended Shion, he became one of them. He's equally guilty, you low-life scum. I despise you. I despise you. I despise you. I despise you. I despise you, you fucking piece of shit. 'Munch, crunch, munch, crunch, munch, crunch. Ah, what a nuisance. Shion's scream coming from the corner of the chamber were enjoyable before, but now they felt unbearably noisy and pissed me off. How about I just get rid of Shion first? I wanted to kill her after she had the most exquisite taste of anguish and terror, but now I could barely suppress the indiscriminate urge to slaughter welling up within me. Keiichi was relentlessly yelling his protest towards me. His throat closed up eventually, and he gasped for breath, hoarsely continuing to demand Mion's return.
ケイちゃん、メイドの土産なんて気の利いたものじゃないけれど、どうしても知りたがっているようだから一つだけ教えてあげるよ。私の中に鬼が宿ったのはずいぶん前。その鬼は私を蝕み強行に駆り立てようとした。だけれど私はそれを理性で押さえつけた。鬼はそれで収まり、私はその鬼はどこかへ行ってしまったんだと思い込んでいた。でも本当は違った。私の中から出て行ったんじゃなく、私の中で眠っていただけだったの。
Yes. When I learned about Satoshi-kun's disappearance, my ailing heart had crammed itself with rage to compensate for the despair. But that was the limit of my insanity, and I would never have snapped. Time had healed me, and my memories of Satoshi-kun were neatly wrapped up and pushed into the back of my mind.
その鬼は、ある小さなことをきっかけに、また目覚めてしまった。それは、何に原因があったと思う？
It really was the smallest of the smallest things.
鬼の私が教えるのも変だけれど、あんたがすべてをおかしくしてしまった元凶。
A tear rolled down my cheek. That's right. Back then, if you hadn't given that doll to Mion, none of this would have happened.
ケイちゃんには理解できないだろうね。理解できなくて当然。だけどね、そこからドミノ倒しみたいに、パタパタパタと、いろんなものが倒れ始めて、収拾がつかなくなってしまった。はじめの小さな一つを倒したあなたに自覚がないのは当然だろうけど、あなたが元凶なの。
Back then, if Keiichi hadn't shown any affection, Shion wouldn't have been overjoyed. She wouldn't have been overjoyed and cheerfully boasted about him to me. As I was listening to her, I was reminded of Satoshi-kun. I became jealous of her for having someone she loved so close to her. It was a very small jealousy, but it had awoken the demon who was sleeping deep inside of me. After that, I just let the demon take over. The demon fed upon the copious amounts of sadness I held for Satoshi-kun, and in return it committed heinous acts that Satoshi-kun himself would never be happy with, all in the name of avenging him. And now, the horrific events that had followed were inviting me to the realm of demons that had no return.
そんな、嘘だろ。
自覚がないのは当然。でも、紛れもなく元凶なのはケイちゃん。
Back then, if you hadn't chosen to give the doll to Mion, we could have arrived at a different future. No, that wasn't right. Wouldn't pinpointing Keiichi's small action as the beginning be the height of transferring blame? I was implying such a silly thing had awoken the demon inside me. Even without Keiichi's act, it would have awoken anyway. At the end of the day, it was all my fault. I didn't fight the demon. I allowed it to reside in my soul, and I readily offered it my heart. Keiichi didn't hide his tears. They were pouring down his cheeks. Maybe he was crying in my place, as I was not free to do so, having chosen to become a tearless demon. That is why I must go on, as the demon. There was no room for human emotions, or hesitation anymore. And then, munch crunch, munch crunch, munch crunch. Snap! Oof! Shion's wails rasping like silk tearing apart, along with my screams of ecstasy. Ecstasy. The last thing I heard were those everlasting reverberations. Damn. June 1983. A case of serial disappearances occurred in Hinamizawa Village, Shishibone City. The suspect is Shion Sonozaki. Allegedly, she abducted, imprisoned, and killed 4 Hinamizawa residents: Oryu Sonozaki, Kichiro Kimiyoshi, Rika Furude, and Satoko Hojo, between June 19th and the 21st. Preliminary investigation into the incident was delayed at the time due to insufficient evidence. But by chance, the case was solved rather abruptly. On the morning of the 22nd, a patrol vehicle stationed outside the Sonozaki mansion heard screams from within, and personnel infiltrated the premises as an emergency measure. The suspect's missing elder sister, Mion Sonozaki, and 2 of her classmates, Keiichi Maibara and Reina Ryugu, were taken into custody. However, Keiichi Maibara, who had previously been lured into the crime scene, had sustained stab wounds perpetrated by the suspect. He was immediately transferred to an emergency unit, but they were diagnosed as a minor injury. Having been the one with the utmost opportunity to engage in conversation with the suspect until the very end, he will be subject to interrogation once he has recovered from the shock. Furthermore, the apprehended suspect was found collapsed at a place approximately 2 meters away from where Keiichi Maibara was restrained, and sustained scratch wounds on her throat. She also transferred to an emergency facility, but was pronounced dead at 13:48 on the 22nd. The official autopsy determines that the immediate cause of death was I'm gonna fuck this up. No, I'm not gonna fuck this up. I'm not gonna embarrass myself. Hold on. Hemorrhagic shock due to excessive blood loss. Hair, pieces of skin, and blood of the 4 missing people, Oryu Sonozaki, Kichiro Kimiyoshi, Rika Furude, and Satoko Hojo, were recovered from the hidden chamber that was discovered in the outbuilding basement of the Sonozaki family property, where they were supposedly killed. It was concluded that the victims were assaulted in that hidden chamber. The victims' bodies were discovered at the bottom of an old well, as per the testimony of the victim, Mion Sonozaki. In addition, investigations continue into any possible connection to the series of mysterious deaths in recent years, but no evidence of Shion Sonozaki's direct or indirect involvement has been found. There are still many obscurities to the motive behind the incident, and due to extreme non-cooperation from the Sonozaki family and residents of Hinamizawa, a large amount of time will be required to clarify matters on this front. The local police who are familiar with the region offered that this may have been an internal lynching incident, as punishment for sacrilegious acts carried out against Hinamizawa's religious beliefs. It has been established that the incident is unique and rooted in the regional community beliefs, and a cautious investigation has been ordered by the prefectural police. We expected to gain valuable hints from the missing person and the suspect's sister, Mion Sonozaki, who was under confinement for the longest period of time. But it was observed that she had sustained severe mental trauma from the incident, and her inquiry has been postponed in favor of her psychological and physical recovery. According to her primary care physician, although her condition is fairly serious, there is a strong prospect of recovery, and she is at present undergoing rehabilitation, with support from her close friends. Several weeks have passed since then. Am I talking as Keiichi or Shion? Well, Shion's dead. Sorry. After that incident, I was rescued by Oishi-san and his team, whom Reina had summoned. I had no other after effects aside from my consciousness that had been wiped white. If I were to have any at all, it would have been to be the deep scars that had been left inside my heart. As I was being examined at the hospital, I was subjected to various queries from Oishi-san. I tried to answer him with whatever little I knew, but I had no idea if it met his expectations, and neither did I bear any responsibility to do so. From what I heard, Shion had already lost too much blood by the time the police had arrived, and she had stopped breathing. They urgently called for an ambulance and took her to the clinic, but there was barely any time for the first aid, and she took her last breath. The silver lining was that Mion, who had been captive in her cell, was safe, and taken into custody by the police. Up until the moment I lost consciousness, I was afraid that Shion may fly into a rage and murder Mion, but I was just glad we had managed to avoid the worst-case scenario. Only, when Mion was rescued, she was emaciated and had sustained severe psychological trauma. Apparently, at the time of her rescue, she had been completely unable to respond to the police's questions. Right now, Mion is admitted at a large hospital in the vicinity and undergoing treatment for her psychological and physical injuries. In the beginning, when Reina and I went to visit, her eyes were downcast in desolation, and she looked completely worn out. It was a horrible state to be in. But despite it all, as of late, she is on her way to recovery. Finally, well enough to show us a few smiles. Of course, we have been careful to not bring up Satoko or Rika-chan, and especially Shion. The police later conducted an on-site investigation at the Sonozaki's house's underground storehouse several days after the incident took place. Particularly, the well inside which Satoko and Rika-chan's bodies were disposed of by Shion was carefully surveyed by the prefectural forensic investigators, and, true to Shion's testimony, the girls were discovered. Apparently, sediment had accumulated at the bottom of the well, and hence the discovery had taken several days. Along with Satoko and the other victims, skeletal remains that were several years and even several decades old were found. But it's not like I would know much about that. Even I was once summoned back to that place to assist with the crime scene investigation, but I didn't really help them find anything important. The Sonozaki family in Okinomiya, in other words, Mion and Shion's parents, came home every day several times along with many of their followers to formally apologize. And no matter how much my parents refused, they kept piling up banknotes worth millions of yens as compensation. And once that money had piled up and reached a certain amount, on the same day, there came an envelope with a letter instead. I have no idea what was written in that letter. But my parents discussed amongst themselves for 2 nights straight without consulting me, and decided we would move away from Hinamizawa.
そっか。引っ越しちゃうんだね。いつ？
来月の終わり。ひなみ沢には結局、半年も居つかなかったことになるな。
No, I just realized we're back as Keiichi again. Fuck.
寂しくなるね。きっとみーちゃんも悲しむよ。
悪い。ミオンにも、正直話すべきか、迷ってる。
Once Reina had heard me say that, she strongly insisted I had to tell her no matter what.
確かに、今みーちゃんにそれを告げるのは酷なのかもしれない。でも、ケイチくんが黙っていなくなっちゃう方が、きっとみーちゃんは辛いと思う。だから、一緒に話しに行こう。ね。
ああ、そうだな。
そっか。
So yeah, this is definitely different from chapter 2.
ケイちゃん、ひなみ沢からいなくなっちゃうんだ。
Even though she had heard it from me, Mion whispered those words sadly. But she didn't seem that surprised. Surely, she had mentally prepared herself for this outcome somewhere inside of her heart.
すまん。けど俺、いつかひなみ沢に戻ってくるつもりだ。約束する。
いいよ、無理しなくても。ここに来ても、きっとケイちゃんにいいことなんて何もないんだから。
みーちゃん。
Both Reina and I wanted to say it wasn't so. But after such a tragic incident, what verbal consolation could we offer that would help? To Mion, who had suffered a much greater pain than we ever had. And so, we just stood there, unable to say anything, just wallowing in silence.
私も、東京に行こうかな。
え？
来週退院できるらしいんだけど、ここにいてもいいことあんまりないし。東京でなくても、どこか遠く、私のことも、ひなみ沢のことも知らない土地に行きたい。やり直せるなんて、都合のいいことは考えてないけど、もう、疲れちゃった。全部、投げ出したいよ。
ミオン。
Mion had been forced to carry the name of the next head of the Sonozaki family, and the representative of the 3 great families, all due to a small misunderstanding. Despite feeling uncertain and weary about her unplanned responsibility, she had nevertheless been earnest and given her all to fulfill her duties. But to think, all of that had been concluded in such a manner. It was such a tremendous loss that it's almost a surprise she hasn't completely lost her mind. Who can really blame Mion anymore for making such a faint-hearted remark? And so I wanted to devote even a little bit of my remaining time here for her.
そうだな、ミオン。一緒にどこか行くか。
え？どこへ？
決まってるだろ。旅行だよ。 俺がここにいられる期間はもうあまりないけど、だったらせめて少しでもいい思い出を取り返しておかないとな。
Oh.
東京はちょっと遠いけど、大きな町とかに足を伸ばしてうまい飯とか買い物とかさ。どうだ？
どうって言われても。それとってもいいと思うな。行っておいでよ、みーちゃん。けど。レナ、一緒に来てくれないの？
After hearing that, even I grew puzzled. Hadn't I suggested all three of us hang out together?
だって、レナは馬になんて蹴られたくないもん。
ね。
だから、二人っきりでどうぞ。あ、お土産買ってきてくれると嬉しいな。はうー。
Boom! Make a boom! Yo, did somebody say boom? Hold on. Mion blushes vigorously. I was slow to react because I didn't understand what Reina was getting at. But seeing Mion's face imbued with color after a long time, my heartbeat grew faster for a moment. No, it wasn't what I implied when I suggested the idea, but depending on the point of view, wouldn't this be an invitation to a date?
いかん。ちょっと調子に乗りすぎたかも。
Indeed, after seeing it that way, I was overcome with embarrassment. There was no way I could back out after coming this far. Ah, this was all for Mion's sake. Pull yourself together, Keiji.
どうだ、ミオン。あ、もちろん医者と親御さんにはちゃんと了解を取るつもりだぜ。あんまり無理はさせないつもりだから考えておいてくれよ。
わかった。考えておく、ね。はうー、兄ちゃんが久々に可愛いよ。嬉しいな、嬉しいな。はうはうはう。
After that, we spent the day talking about harmless stuff that happened at school or in the neighborhood until it was evening. I felt like Mion had regained some of her spirit and acted a bit like she used to, so I was happy. After a few days, Mion had contacted me to say that she was okay with my plan. And after spending a few more days to convince my folks and Mion's parents, we set off on a day's trip to a metropolis that had been one of those bullet train stations.
うわー、しばらく見ないうちにここってすごく大きくなったんだね。
As soon as you stepped out of the station, Mion set eyes on the scenery sprawling with peoples and cars. Fuck, Mochi. People and cars. She shared her feelings and excitement as she looked on admiringly. From what I heard, unless it's on very important business, Mion rarely gets to leave the village, let alone come out to a big city like this. Because of that, everything she saw looked fresh and fascinating to her. She pranced around merrily, almost like a child.
ねえねえ、ケイちゃん、これからどこに行くの？
そうだな。ミオンの好みから考えて、あそこはどうだ？
The place I was pointing to, when I had checked out in advance, was a massive, beautifully decorated game arcade that towered over a corner of the station shopping square.
なかなか盛大に遊び回ったな。
I'm just waiting for this to all to go horribly wrong, like it always does. It's fucking Higurashi.
面白かった。あんなにゲームで遊んだの本当に久しぶりだよ。
As I sat down on the bench, Mion was gleefully draining her can of juice with a huge smile. That expression was unlike the gloomy one Mion had worn at the hospital. Next to me was the Mion I knew well. Earlier, we'd had a blast vowing to conquer all the game consoles in the vicinity and made quite the ruckus, without caring about the people watching. Mion was enjoying herself playing on consoles she wasn't used to, and had gone on a rampage, laughing out loud, getting worked up, and challenging me to matches. Although I couldn't help thinking about what-ifs as I was playing with her. About how much fun it would have been if only it weren't just the two of us, but also Reina, Satoko, and Rika-chan as well. I'm sure Mion must have been thinking the same thing, which was also why I outdid myself, making so much noise trying to battle the loneliness when I had realized.
なあ、ミオン。
何ケイちゃん。
With faint drops of sweat coating her forehead, Mion turned to face me with a broad smile. Mion's cheerfulness was most likely just her being considerate towards me for having brought her here. If that was so, then I needed to do the same for her.
お前、全部初めてって言ってたけど、それ本当か？初プレイで2台もハイスコアに名前入れるなんて、とんでもない実力だぜ。
ちっちっち4台の間違いだよケイちゃん。こういうのはセンスと勘、そして動体視力がものを言うのさ。普段の鍛錬を怠らなかった成果だよ。むしろケイちゃんはアドバンテージをひっくり返されたことを恥と思うべきだね。
おいおい、ちょっと待てよ。エアホッケーの時とか、あれ何？なんて後ろを指さして顔を向けた瞬間打ち込んできたのは反則だろ？
I mean, is it though?
まったく容赦のないやつだぜ。
Language, Keiichi.
勝てば官軍、負ければ賊軍だよ。
For the time being, it's alright if her well-being is a front. All I hope for is that someday this becomes real, and she recovers her old cheerful self.
いやいや、それにしてもゲーセンも雰囲気が変わったよな。少し前ならタバコ臭くて暗いイメージだったけど、家族連れで遊びに来る人も結構いたからちょっと驚いたぜ。
そうだね。やっぱたまにはこういうのも楽しいよね。あ、今何時ぐらい
？5時くらいかな。
ああ、じゃあ夕食まであと少しだね。どこかで食べて帰る？
そうだな。ファーストフードでハンバーガーなんてどうだ？
おお、いいね。あ、その前にちょっと失礼。
Mion said that and stood up for the bench. I found it odd for a minute, but then I understood her intention and...
店にもトイレはあるぞ。
Instead of a reply, I had empty cans thrown at Mion. At me. Mion stuck her tongue out at me and left in a hurry. And after I watched her retreating figure, I plopped back down on the bench and looked up at the sky. The sky was pure blue and crystal clear. It felt amazing. Everything seemed to be glowing and bathed in the brilliant summer sun. It was a good thing we came here. Mion also seemed to show signs of recovery.
そうだな。なんなら今度はいっそ東京にでも誘ってみるか。
It'd be cheaper if she stayed at our new place there, but I feel like our parents may be concerned for a while. We still needed some more time to go back to how it was.
あ、そうなると、泊まる場所も探しておかないとな。あとは、
Why, hello there.
ああ、こんにちは。
Huh? Wait, what?
いやー、ごめん、ケイちゃん。
Huh?
トイレ人いっぱいでさ。あ、結構待たせちゃったみたいだから飲み物買ってきた。どっちがいい？あれ？ケイちゃん寝ちゃったの？もう、しょうがないな。女の子とのデート中に居眠りなんてエチケット違反だよ。
You good, my man?
ケイちゃん？もう、いつまで寝てるんだよ。
Well, we've come to the fuckery, it seems.
ほら、起きて。ケイちゃん？
There he goes.
は
Did my man get ripped in half? What? What? All that just to tell me I got the bad end. Alright then. So y'all are gonna hate me. Y'all are really gonna hate me. But that's it for today. We'll try going through the good end next time. I have no idea what the fuck happened there. But it's almost 10 and I don't want to keep going and disturb my parents while they try to sleep. So I will see you guys tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. But yeah, that's that's it for today. What even happened? My man just went, I'm out. Oh god. But let's see. Let's see who we can raid. Yeah. We can raid Iron Mouse. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. Why don't we raid Abby again? Why not? Yeah, I think we'll raid Abby. Yeah, okay. Raid Abby Zab. And here is the raid message. Shit. There you go. Oh wow, okay, so it's just me, Soldier, and Golden. Well, you know what? That's fine. We're the dynamic trio, aren't we, guys? Let me type this in. This truly will be the greatest spare raid of all time. Is the sound alert still not working? What the fuck? Well, alright then. Twitch, I guess. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. Tomorrow we'll do the good ending and probably the chapter review. But yeah, hope everyone has a good day. I'll see you later, and bye-bye!